All right, welcome to Sunday, March 6th. Good to see you. Hey, let's make today's reading Deuteronomy chapters 23 through 25. We'll just do 3. And man, looking forward to seeing you in just a few hours in church. Please excuse the my office is more of a mess than it usually is. What are you gonna do? So as you read through this chapter, I think what might grab you is the bastard verse. You might say, well, it's not the kid's fault, and I agree with you. However, I believe what God is doing here. There's a study that the Brookings Institute did. It's a secular place. I'm going to give you some of their findings. They whittled down a lot of their findings and brought their findings down to 3 simple rules. You can avoid poverty by doing these 3 things. Number 1, graduating from high school. Pretty simple. Number 2, waiting to get married until you're 21 and not having any children until after you're married. And then number 3, having a full-time job. If you do these 3 things, your chance at being in poverty is 2%. Also, you have a 74% chance of being middle class. By the way, I'll find it and I'll put the link into the description for you. These rules apply to everyone. These rules apply to all races, all ethnic groups, but breaking these rules is becoming more commonplace. If we would just keep these 3 rules, how much better and easier would society be right now? People complain about, that, hey, people used to be able to, afford to live on one job. Follow these 3 rules. So then the contrast here. Young adults who violated these 3 rules, they dropped out, they got married before 21, or had children out of wedlock, and didn't have a full-time job, had a 76% chance of winding up in poverty, and a 7% chance of eventually winding up in middle class. So you can get mad at God all about that bastard verse all you want, but the truth is, I think it was aimed more at the parents than it was the kids. We should have kids in mind when we make decisions that will lead towards kids. We look at society today and just think everything happens in a vacuum, and it doesn't. Now, that's not to mean that somebody can't make it, but God is giving you here a warning. Just do things right. These verses here are more about controlling yourself than it is about the kids. By the way, funny verses between 12 and 14 you see there. Man, if you're going to go out and relieve yourself outside the camp, you better have a paddle on your weapon, because you know what? You're going to bury what comes from you, because God doesn't want to see it. Again, you'll notice here, if a slave escapes his owner and makes it to your house, you are not allowed to take him back. Obviously, if he escaped, that owner is not a good owner, abuse and all sorts of neat stuff going on. You couldn't send him back. Just cracks me up every time. Oh, the Bible, supports slavery. Does it? Not how we did it. And also, you see the end there, keep your word, or basically don't say anything. Chapter 24 covers divorce, makes it sound really easy, but remember, Jesus said this portion of scripture was given because of the hardness of their heart. And also notice there, hey, there's certain things that you weren't allowed to do for a year after you got married because you needed to cheer up your wife. She sees what she got into and she's like, ugh. But notice through this chapter you find that God is pulling for those who are weak or without. So again, if you think about it, going back to the poverty thing, he warns against the things that would cause poverty, but yet he still supports those that are in it, hoping, for them to get out. Chapter 25, we find the punishment for, notice the key word there, wicked. This wasn't just random people being pulled out and whipped. This is a wicked person who faced judgment, faced the facts, and the judge meted out the punishment, not just some random person, and no vigilante justice. Notice also here that God does not command 2 men not to fight. Just thought I would point that out. But he does command a woman not to get involved. We've all seen episodes of Cops where the woman's coming out flailing, pulling hair, and all sorts of neat stuff. It's not allowed. And then we find there it's finishing off, just be honest. Be honest in your business dealings. You have to put your head on your pillow at night. So be honest, do what you're supposed to do. All right. Thanks for sitting through maybe a little bit longer one than normal, but had a couple extra things there to cover. And looking forward to church here in a little bit. Have a great day.